Welcome to the faculty portion of Scholarship and Awards Day. First, it is my honor to recognize members of the Belmont University faculty who have announced their decision to retire from the faculty at the end of this academic year. Retiring this year are Dr. Glenn Acree, Dr. Devin Bowen, Dr. Loretta Bond, Ms. Gail Birch, Dr. Greg Falk, Dr. John Hawley, Dr. Mark Hogan, Mr. John Pell, Dr. Lynn Shores, Dr. Rich Tyner, Mr. Dan Wujik, and Dr. Lonnie Yandel. I want to thank each of you for your years of dedicated service to Belmont University. You will be missed greatly. We wish you all the best as you pursue your interests outside of Belmont and do hope that you will continue to allow us to be part of your lives after you have left. Congratulations again. As we celebrate those whose time at Belmont is ending, we take a moment to recognize faculty who have been here for at least 10 years. Please join me in celebrating the following faculty members who are truly committed to the Belmont community. Celebrating 10 years at Belmont this year, Dr. Leanne Bynum, Dr. Colin Cannonier, Dr. Tracy Carter, Dr. Dennis Chen, Dr. Manuel Cruz, Dr. Andrew Davis, Dr. Edgar Diaz Cruz, Dr. Claire Ng, Mrs. Martha Ezell, Dr. Alex Graham, Dr. Elisa Green, Dr. Lindsay Hahn, Dr. Laura Harding, Dr. Dwayne Hatch, Mr. Jim Kaiser, Mr. Dan Keene, Dr. Joan Lee, Dr. Robin Lovegren, Dr. Jason Lavorne, Dr. Donovan Maccabee, Dr. Gary McDowell, Dr. Amanda Miller, Dr. Martha Minardi, Mrs. Amy Moore, Dr. Jessica Mueller, Dr. Maria Neophytou Foster, Mrs. Barb Patovich, Dr. Jonathan Phillips, Dr. James Pierce, Dr. Aaron Pryor, Mr. Drew Ramsey, Mr. Harold C., Dr. Stephen Shin, Dr. Kevin Trowbridge, Ms. Elizabeth Usman, Dr. Mark Watley, and Ms. Claire Wiley. Celebrating 15 years at Belmont, Dr. James Anderson, Dr. Sally Barton Arwood, Dr. Anthony Bafiglio, Dr. Paolo Borrero, Dr. Bruce Dudley, Dr. Jennifer Fowler, Mrs. Courtney Fuson, Dr. Kathleen Galloway, Dr. Scott Hawley, Dr. Amy Hodges Hamilton, Dr. Christian Klefstadt, Dr. Terry Klefstadt, Dr. Lauren Lunsford, Dr. Natalia Palaz, Dr. Bonnie Reichert, Dr. Pat Schneider, Dr. Dave Tuff, and Dr. Marietta Velikova. Celebrating 20 years at Belmont this year, Dr. Brad Childs, Dr. Mary Goodlow, Dr. Christopher Norton, Dr. Andrea Stepnick, Dr. Christy Witten, and Dr. Marilyn Young. Celebrating 25 years at Belmont this year, Dr. Devin Bowen, Dr. David Curtis, Dr. Ruby Dunlap, Dr. Kimberly Ensminger, Dr. Beth Hallmark, Dr. Joy Kimmons, Dr. Dan Schaefer, and Dr. Rich Tyner. Completing 30 years at Belmont, Dr. Wes Bulla, Dr. Steve Murphy, and Dr. Susan Trout. Celebrating 35 years at Belmont, Dr. Robbie Pinter, and completing an incredible 40 years at Belmont, my friend and colleague, Dr. Marcia McDonald. Congratulations to all of you and thank you. As Provost, it is another one of my honors to be part of the awarding of tenure, promotion, and leaves. As such, it is with great honor that we celebrate the following faculty on their promotion from associate to full professor: Dr. Jamie Adam, Dr. Sarah Blomley, Dr. Jennifer Fowler, and Dr. Marietta Velikova. Through this process, these 4 faculty members have shown their commitment to teaching and scholarship, and it is with great honor that we celebrate their achievements together. One of the major achievements in life of a professor is the awarding of tenure. Although not always tied to promotion, this year all of the recipients of tenure have also been awarded the rank of associate professor. Receiving this rank and tenure this year are Dr. Michelle Corvette, Dr. Cynthia Curtis, Dr. Davin Ferrara, Dr. Alejandra Ferrer, Dr. Jeremy Fike, Dr. Jeannie Geis, Dr. Suzanne Greenwald, Dr. Charmian Gutsky, Dr. Matthew Hurd, Dr. Hangsuk Lee, Dr. Adam Flieger, Mrs. Christine Rogers, and Dr. Brad Schlaben. Please join me in celebrating each of these faculty members on this momentous occasion and this extraordinary achievement. We are so proud of all of them. Finally, we had numerous applications for sabbaticals this year. While students just see what all of the faculty accomplish in the classroom, it is important to recognize the scholarly work that all of our faculty are committed to. Sabbaticals allow for that study to occur. Let's celebrate the faculty who have been awarded sabbaticals for the coming year. For the fall 2021, we have Ms. Julie Hunt, Dr. Christine Kleinman, Dr. Shelby Longard, Dr. Jonathan Thorndike, Dr. Kyle Huggins, Dr. Barry Paget, Dr. Kara Smith, and Mr. Jason Stahl. In spring 2022, leaves have been awarded to Dr. Mitch McCoy, Dr. Stephen Shin, Dr. Jeffrey Ames, Dr. Colin Tenure, Dr. Jeffrey Overby, Dr. Michelle Gwen, Dr. Jennifer Thomas, Dr. Sally Holt, and Dr. Eric Tarr. Congratulations to each of you on your sabbatical award. As provost, it is my absolute honor to recognize and celebrate faculty members who are extraordinary representatives of our teaching and scholarly community. The Belmont University Award for Christian Scholarship is presented annually to a Belmont faculty member whose scholarship exemplifies faith-informed academics. Academics that engage the Christian intellectual tradition and advance the scholarly conversation between faith and learning. I am pleased to present the 2021 Christian Scholarship Award to Dr. Christopher Bourne, Assistant Professor of Asian Studies and Japanese Language. Dr. Bourne's research centers on the role of Christianity in Japanese culture. More importantly, he actively seeks Belmont students to collaborate with him by helping them cultivate undergraduate research that is energized by his knowledge and scholarship on the topic. For example, in 2021, Dr. Bourne chose 4 Belmont students, formed them into an undergraduate research team, and led them in making a submission or application for a $50,000 Asia Network Freeman Foundation Student Faculty Fellows Grant for a project meant to coincide with the Tokyo Olympics. While the team did not receive the grant, Dr. Bourne continued the research project built on the model of Third Space as a place for Christians to create community with the Japanese communities. Dr. Bourne is also chair of the Faith and Academics Committee in the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, and he is active in Nashville's Christian community at the Parish Presbyterian Church and with the Japanese congregation at Crossroads of the Nations Presbyterian Church in Brentwood, Tennessee. Please join me in recognizing Dr. Christopher Bourne, recipient of the 2021 Award for Christian Scholarship. Our next faculty award, titled Leadership in Christian Service, honors faculty who provide leadership to a new initiative or to an established Christian organization that serves those in need. We are pleased to present the 2020-21 Leadership in Christian Service Award to Dr. Stephen Shin, Associate Professor of Sports Administration. Dr. Shin exemplifies what it means to apply one's faith through service. He has taken an active role in the Nashville Korean United Methodist Church, where he served as chair and member of their Joshua Men's Ministry. In this position, he organized fundraising events and shared proceeds with the Grace Memorial Medical Missions, an organization that deploys many clinics in underserved communities in and around the greater Nashville metro area. Dr. Shin also supported the celebration event of Korean Adoptive Families Ministry, whose mission is to act as a cultural bridge between the United States and Korea. The celebration event helps children adopted from Korean by American families in our community continue to be connected with their Korean heritage and culture. Dr. Shin states, "I believe that interweaving Christian faith to Belmont education should be second to none, and I have been very grateful to be a part of the class Faith and Academics Committee to serve God and the Belmont community." Please join me in recognizing Dr. Stephen Shin, recipient of the 2020-21 Leadership in Christian Service Award. The Scholarship Award is presented annually to the faculty member who best exemplifies outstanding intellectual and creative contributions in the scholarly areas of discovery, integration, application, and teaching. The finalists for the 2020-2021 Scholarship Award are Dr. Cheryl Slade Carr, Associate Dean and Professor of Music Business, Dr. Alejandra Ferrer, Assistant Professor of Music Therapy and Coordinator of the Music Therapy Program, Dr. Scott Hawley, Professor of Physics, and Dr. Teresa Plummer, Associate Professor of Occupational Therapy. Each of you has contributed to your respective field in exceptional ways, and your continued engagement in scholarship not only demonstrates your passion for the discipline, but also enhances the educational experience of students and faculty here at Belmont. Your work reflects the academic quality of our faculty and aids Belmont in our endeavors to be a premier teaching institution. The recipient of the Scholarship Award for 2020-2021 is Dr. Teresa Plummer, Associate Professor of Occupational Therapy. Dr. Plummer has 40 years of experience as an occupational therapy, and 20 of those years being an associate professor in Belmont's College of Health Sciences. On a mission trip to an orphanage in Peru, she became aware that more than 200 children, most of which had had polio, had no means of mobility. She returned to Nashville burdened by this tremendous need and sought to change it. Collecting old wheelchairs, she returned a year later to begin the process of equipping people with mobility devices. Of equal attention, her desire to understand why infants did not have access to mobility devices became instrumental in modifying ride-on toys for infants. Dr. Plummer's passion and expertise in early pediatric mobility led her to start the Music City Go Baby Go initiative. Go Baby Go is a community-based research, design, and outreach program that provides modified ride-on cars to young children with limited mobility, but with no cost to the family. The work is done in collaboration with Belmont Occupational Therapy students. Since 2010, her work has resulted in 16 peer-reviewed publications, 11 of which include OT students and/or faculty, 13 international presentations, 49 state and national presentations. She was recently selected to serve as the WHO International Society of Wheelchair Professionals to create standards for international wheelchair education. As her nomination states, Dr. Plummer truly embodies Belmont's mission to engage and transform the world. Her commitment to humanity transforms the lives of children with disabilities by removing barriers so that they can move, see their world, and most of all, have hope and opportunity. Dr. Plummer, on behalf of the faculty and students of Belmont University, I proudly present you with the Scholarship Award for 2020-2021. It is my honor to present this year's Chaney Distinguished Professor Award. The award is named for Dr. Virginia Chaney, beloved professor of Latin classics at Belmont from 1956 to 1993, and is endowed by Carolyn and Frank Sheffield, who have also endowed the Presidential Faculty Achievement Award. The Chaney Distinguished Professor Award is presented each year to a faculty member who best represents the vision of the university to be a premier teaching institution. Voted on by full-time faculty, students, and staff, the Chaney Award is determined on the basis of superior teaching. The finalists for the 2020-2021 Chaney Award are listed here. Dr. Pete Carilla, Associate Professor of History, Dr. Patrick Morse, Assistant Professor of Psychology, Dr. Andy Stepnick, Professor of Sociology, and Dr. Jennifer Crowell-Thompson, Associate Professor of Social Work. Each of these individuals is an exceptional and extraordinarily talented teacher, and we are indeed grateful to each of them to count them among our colleagues and friends and to learn from their expertise. The recipient of the Chaney Distinguished Professor Award for 2020-2021 is Dr. Pete Carilla, Associate Professor of History. Dr. Carilla began teaching full-time at Belmont in 2008. His teaching and writing tends to focus on American philosophy, literature, and political thought after the Civil War, including the intersections between those things. These larger thematic concerns of his often involve the history of civil rights and race relations in the U.S. He is a regular blogger at the U.S. Society for Intellectual History and a contribution writer for Humanities Tennessee's Chapter 16, a website that provides coverage of literary news and events in Tennessee. At Belmont, he teaches a number of courses, and he's active in the Bell Corps, regularly teaching first-year seminar and learning community courses for first-year students. He tries to get students to think across traditional disciplinary and conceptual boundaries, to take risks, and to follow their passions. Outside of the classroom, Pete finds momentary Outside of the classroom, Pete finds momentary satisfactions that come with fixing, making, or growing something. Of his students, they often say Dr. Pete Carilla is truly the professor who has made the most significant impact on my life. His teachings will never be lost on me, and his class, in terms of the work, will always be interesting, and he is genuinely caring. He is always available to help students in need and understood that in pandemic, things did not always work out. Dr. Carilla, on behalf of the faculty and students of Belmont University, I proudly present you with the Chaney Distinguished Professor Award for Teaching Excellence for 2020-2021. Congratulations, Pete.
The Presidential Faculty Achievement Award is presented each year to a faculty member who has made outstanding contributions to student life outside the classroom. The finalists for this year's award are Dr. Amy Crook, Associate Professor of Management, Dr. Jose Gonzalez, Assistant Professor of Management and Entrepreneurship, Ms. Julie Hunt, Associate Professor of Social Work, and Dr. Ted Peets, Chair and Associate Professor of Sports Administration. I offer my congratulations to all of these faculty members and thank them for their service to our students that obviously is well above the minimum that's required. You're all winners to me. The recipient selected by the faculty committee of this year's award is Dr. Jose Gonzalez. Dr. Gonzalez is Assistant Professor of Entrepreneurship and Management in the Jack C. Massey College of Business. A gifted educator devoted to guiding his students' entrepreneurial aspirations, He enjoys being in the classroom and working with his students, developing and testing their business models. But it's his work outside the classroom where his genuine calling as an educator is most obvious. He has a passion for advising current and former students and for connecting them to internships and job opportunities and guiding them through the launch of their own entrepreneurial endeavors. One of Dr. Gonzalez's nominators attests, quote, "Dr. G provides so much support to students while they're on campus, but he also keeps his door open to alumni. He always makes time to foster genuine connections with his students that last through the entirety of their careers." Another student noted, "He's always been willing to guide, connect, advise, and support me throughout the last 3.5 years. Belmont would not feel like home without Dr. Gonzalez." Let's join in our hearts and minds in congratulating Dr. Jose Gonzalez as the recipient of this year's 2021 Presidential Faculty Achievement Award.